In today's Top Talker, Browns fans were shocked after star player Myles Garrett requested a trade yesterday. The music is apropos.
I think it is.
And it feels like nobody's really upset at him. It's more about the organization.
And I'd have to say I would agree with those that believe it's more about the organization. He gave us 8 years. They gave him 1 playoff win. If you watched us yesterday at 5, you saw that his news prompted what I would call a very small pop-up protest outside of the stadium with fans saying they've had enough. Well, our Mike Polk Jr. was there. He reported live on it for us yesterday during the show. And now that he's had some time to think about it, he's ready to share his thoughts on the latest developments.
When Myles Garrett announced yesterday that he wants to break up with us and start dating other football franchises, it didn't surprise me. But I will admit I have been surprised by the fan reaction to the news. More specifically, how rational it's been. Traditionally, when a Cleveland pro athlete expresses that they no longer wish to remain in our city, we don't tend to take it well. Because even if that decision is reasonable, it's impossible not to feel somewhat dejected when someone we've supported for a long time publicly announces that they wish to leave our city as soon as possible so that they can start living their best life and finally achieve their dreams, which they've determined could never happen with us here in Cleveland. Following these announcements, fans typically tend to lay a healthy part of the blame on the disgruntled player who wants out of town. After all, we say, what are these multi-millionaire crybabies grousing about anyways? Now he wants to turn his back on us? Sounds like it's time for another Cleveland Traitor Jersey BBQ. But that certainly does not appear to be the case this time around. In fact, the Browns fan base is decidedly pro-Myles. Just check out the results from a poll conducted yesterday by our good friends at ESPN Cleveland, in which they asked whether Garrett's desire to leave town should be blamed on the Browns or Myles himself. As you can see, of the nearly 5,000 respondents, 94% of them blame the organization. That is a ludicrous level of consensus in today's culture. Do you have any idea how rare it is to achieve even lukewarm agreement amongst any group of Americans regarding any topic right now? I mean, according to a recent YouGov poll, only 75% of Americans say they like Dolly Parton, and she's an angel that walks among us who wrote Jolene. But apparently the one opinion in our fractured society on which you can find a near consensus right now is that the Browns organization is a profoundly incompetent tire fire that deserves universal shame and scorn. It's not what I would have chosen to bring us all together, but any port in a storm, I suppose. And to be clear, just because 94% of Browns fans do not blame Myles for wanting out of here, that doesn't mean we actually want him to leave. In fact, it's because we love him that we're not upset about this request. Of course he wants to get away from here. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's devoted his life to his profession and he wants to succeed at the highest level. He's now had 8 years to evaluate this organization from within, and in that time, he has determined it to be straight hot trash. That's hard to argue from a fan perspective, even if we wanted to, because we've been watching and suffering right along with him the whole time. In fact, I believe a major reason the Browns fans don't blame Myles for his request to leave is that we envy him, and we're living vicariously through him. Unlike players, fans of terrible sports franchises don't have the option of demanding to be traded to another, more successful fan base, no matter how poorly we're treated, because we live here. So we either have to just stick it out or quit watching. But Myles has options. He can escape this carnival of horrors and deserves the right to do so. So no hard feelings, Myles. Go, run, go to a good team and live for all of us, you big goofy freight train. You've earned it. And don't worry about us, we'll get by. If you need us, we'll still be here. And as always, we'll be rebuilding. Go Cavs.
Wow, you absolutely nailed this one again. You do so often.
You guys familiar with the 1987 movie Harry and the Hendersons?
I remember it.
John Lithgow and his family takes in the Sasquatch. I'm not making comparisons. I'm not saying you're a Sasquatch, Myles Garrett. But in the end, they realize that he's just not where he's supposed to be. They've had a nice time with him and a nice adventure. They love him. They want him to stick around. Yeah. Of course they do. And John Lithgow has to go, get out of here, you turd! He has to pretend to be mad at him.
Sure.
If that's what we have to do for Myles right now, I feel like he's earned that from us.
It's almost like the mother bird pushing the baby bird out of the net. It's time to go.
That's what it is.
And so yesterday I was getting all kinds of messages from people that were saying, well, the worst place he could go would be Pittsburgh. And then I said, okay, that really hurt my heart. I had to catch my breath. And then I got another one that said, oh, no, the worst place could be Tampa Bay, and he's going to team up with our buddy Baker Mayfield to win a Super Bowl. And it was like I got like 10 different teams, and they were all awful.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Right.
But this
hurts. Every one of them would sting. Who would hurt the most for you? to see Myles go to?
The Ravens.
The Ravens. That would be.
That's like
And they stole our team.
the
Now
second, second shot
Love
to
to
the heart.
help shore up Baltimore's defense, wouldn't you?
and be the missing link to tie it back to Bigfoot.
Nice.
In them winning yet another Super Bowl. This was talked about yesterday. This is squarely on the Browns. This is on them. This is on Jimmy Haslam. This is on ownership. I don't blame him 100%. I understand it. They're not going to win here anytime soon. He knows that, and he's leaving the coop.
I would really love to hear from them about now.
Sure.
Because we've heard nothing.
Other than the fact that they're not going to trade him.
And
they're
just
digging
like,
in.
I'm sure they'll get back to us soon.
Oh,
Right?
any day now.
Yeah.
All right.
Mike, that was awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.